Alright guys and girls, welcome to your Holster 101 follow-up. If you're watching this video and you did not take our holster class, shame on you. You should take the holster class. It's pretty awesome. But this is just the very basics that I want you guys to use in reference as you're training, as you're dry firing, as you're hitting the range. Hopefully you're filming yourself every now and again so you can actually see what it is that you're doing, see the process as you're executing it. Use this as a reference point. All right, so what did we talk about in class? First thing we talked about, safety. All right, the most dangerous part about using a holster is reholstering. So finger off trigger, straighten off the trigger, eyes follow the gun down into a clear and empty holster, and we slowly reholster. Never a reason to speed reholster, especially not on the range. So slow, finger off trigger, look that gun back into the holster. Whether we're using a strong side holster or an appendix carry holster. Now from here, I'm gonna break these down separately. So we're gonna do strong side draw first, then we're going to do a concealed carry and appendix style draw. So we're gonna put a little thing right down at the bottom of the video that tells you what time to go to if you're just here for appendix draw. But we're gonna start with strong side draw. So what does this look like end to end, all right? Moderate speed, strong side draw looks something like this. And go. Slowly back into the holster. All right, let's see that one more time. Hands up, hands down, doesn't really matter. Go. Look it back into the holster. What steps are we achieving? Well, step one, right? Number one, support hand to chest, shooting hand, nice and high grip on the pistol. So both hands move at once. Go. Support hand to chest. Now, step two, I'm going to draw the pistol out. As soon as that muzzle clears the holster, I'm going to drop the elbow, rotate the shoulder ever so slightly to orient that pistol downrange, and bring it in connection with my support hand, just like so. I've also got a safe direction down here, so I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see this. So, I come up, out of the holster, drop that elbow, drop that shoulder, get that muzzle in front of my support hand, and then I marry them together, right in front. I'm going to take that trigger finger on my left hand, my index finger, and I'm going to drive it into the bottom of the trigger guard, touching the knuckle of my shooting hand middle finger. Drive like this. From there, I am going to roll the grip together as I push the gun out, and that's my step three. So, step one, shooting hand to gun, support hand to chest. Step two, clear holster, drop elbow, rotate shoulder, and connect in front of the chest. Step three, roll grip into position, press the gun in a straight line to target, take the slack out of the trigger, and once an acceptable sight picture has been achieved, break your shot. Simple, smooth motions. And go. And go. Now, for the sake of the video, these are not great follow-through shots, following targets to the ground, scanning for threats every single time. It'd be a long video if we did that for everyone. But what are we seeing? We are seeing very minimal movement. That's our first thing that we have to worry about with a draw, is the draw should encompass arm movement, and that's about it. Every now and again, based on your holster placement on your body, you may have to adjust a very small amount, but we should not be leaning and pushing out. So that's the first thing. Before you even start with all of your 1s and 2s and 3s, make sure that you focus on not moving anything that you do not have to, namely your hips, your legs, your torso leaning side to side. We should be fairly okay with simply moving arms and hands, right? And I'm still not moving my hands all that fast. Let's watch it again, nice and slow. We're gonna count out our numbers here. 1, 2, 3, and slowly back into the holster. All right? Keep in mind, guys, as we're coming together in that number 2, right? That index finger of our left hand is a great anchor point to find the bottom of that trigger guard and the middle finger knuckle of that shooting hand. From there, we now just have a frame. From there, I am folding my grip together as I go. Notice when I establish that grip up together, I'm not making very much contact with my left hand yet. It's still bladed. As I push forward, that's when I roll those thumbs into position and that grip pressure of my support hand. So that is our basic strong side draw. Now, one of the key factors to proper practice is A, starting slow, but B, not necessarily starting stilted. We don't want to make this process a stilted 1, 2, 3, okay? Go for slow practice, but go for smooth practice. When we practice the whole draw stroke through, even if it's slow, which it should be at the beginning, we want to do our best to keep it a smooth, continuous movement throughout. Extra slow, and go. Reholster. Simple as that. Now, let's attack appendix carry. So, welcome back, appendix carry people. If you skipped that whole beginning, we are talking about the appendix carry draw. Part of our step 1 here is going to be defeating that garment. Remember, so let's talk about the 1, 2, and 3 of an appendix carry draw. Step 1, defeat garment and establish a shooting hand grip as best we can on the pistol. Now, for a lot of people, the way that an appendix carry rig is going to be set up, you are not going to have the ability to jam your thumb down behind the pistol. That's A-okay. For me, as I establish that grip, my thumb is actually flagged on the top, just off to the left-hand side of that slide right there. Not fully covering the back, but just off to the left-hand side, but still flagged up top, right? That's our number 1. Those hands should be moving at the exact same time, just like position 1 for a strong side. Position 2, hands should move at the same time so that we're getting that grip established as quick as we possibly can. Now, step 2, same concept as a strong side draw. As soon as that muzzle clears the holster, we're dropping elbow and shoulder. We are letting go of the shirt now that the gun has cleared, and we are establishing that left index finger, contact on the trigger guard with our middle knuckle of our shooting hand. Notice, just like we had shown before, I am still bladed and open. My grip is not yet established. I am establishing that grip as I press out to target in a straight line. That's all we're doing. Let's watch an appendix draw end to end, nice, slow, and smooth. And go. Finger off trigger. Lean those hips out to keep that muzzle away from your body. Reholster slowly. Shirt down. And that's our 1, 2, and our 3 step. Remember, step 1, as quick as we can get that hand to the gun. Now, I would go to grab underneath. Invariably just a tiny bit faster than a slap and a drag. However, 1 out of 30 times I would miss that based on different clothing, you name it. That slap, where we take the palm of our hand, slap the top of where the firearm sits, and then bunch around, is going to give me a far more consistent draw stroke. It might take an extra 1/8 of a second, but it is going to be worth it in the long run to make sure that I'm getting that garment out of the way every single time. So, step 1, slap, drag, and establish grip all at the same time. Step 2, muzzle clears holster, immediately rotates down range, and I begin blade that contact together at that middle of my sternum, and then I press it in a straight line, and I take my shot. Let's watch it again, just counting out our numbers here. 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. Notice, just like with our strong side draw here, guys, I am not doing a lot of extra moving. I don't want to move the target that I'm aiming for, and I don't want to waste a lot of time and energy flailing my body around. So just like with a strong side draw, before you start working your steps, make sure that you focus on the fact that you're only going to be moving your arms as much as you possibly can. With an appendix draw, the main thing we see people do is move their trunk around. They move their mane, their torso. We want to try to limit that as much as we can. Let's watch again, nice and slow. And a slow reholster with our eyes on target. Notice I'm not moving anything else. And my hands aren't moving all that fast here. I'm putting the round on target in just around 1 second. So, guys and girls in camera 2, if this video was helpful, please send it to somebody looking for basic instructions on how to complete that draw. One thing that I did not go over with our appendix draw before we go, again, now I just have a frame, so I can turn back this way, just in case you guys skip that strong side demonstration here. As I establish that grip on the pistol, I clear that muzzle, I drop that shirt, and I'm making contact here. Notice, right here, my grip is not yet established. I'm still at a bladed hand position, and as I press forward from there, that's when I roll my thumbs in. Okay? One more time. 1, 2, contact with a blade, right underneath, right at that proprioceptive index we talked about, right up at our mid-chest, and then I roll the pressure straight out from there. All right? Now we can talk later on down the line in another video in our Holster 201 class about beginning to prep and stage that trigger on the way out to target once the muzzle is parallel to the ground and oriented in a safe direction towards the target, towards the threat. But suffice it to say right now, those are your basic 1s, 2s, and 3s. So take them out to the range, practice. But more important than the range practice, that's for you too, camera 2, is at-home dry fire practice. You do it for free every single day. You barely even need to get out of your PJs. If you have a proper pair of pants that you can get a holster onto with a good belt, you're good to go. So please continue to practice as often as you possibly can. Consistency is far more important than depth of practice at one time, especially when it comes to something like learning a proper draw. So stay smart, stay safe, never stop improving, guys and girls, and I will talk to you later.